Well, the next slide is going to take us into the cosmic warfare that we're involved in. Turn over to chapter 6, verse 12, and I'll back up to 10. It says, "We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We are wrestling against principalities and powers and rulers of darkness in this world and spiritual wickedness in high places." He says, we are involved in cosmic conflict. This is not a movie or some form of music or a television show or some kind of entertainment. This is much more than that. That's just the conduit it comes through. Behind that media or that culture or that amusement, behind that is a very purposeful, cosmic, satanic backdrop. And that's what he points out to them, the cosmic warfare. It's not flesh and blood. We need to realize our imperative. Verse 11, backing up, it says, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." What is that? Well, first of all, it is a completely armed call. We need to be completely armed. Don't just pick and choose. Don't take the parts that are easy and comfortable. Completely armed. And secondly, we need to do that before the battle begins. A lot of people are scrambling around looking for their armor, and it's too late. They're mortally wounded. The strategic intelligence report is this, that we're in a battle, and it's cosmic. There's only one way to win, with the armor the Lord gives us. What is that armor? Our armor from Ephesians 6. We're supposed to be girded with truth. We're supposed to have on a breastplate of righteousness, feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, taking the shield of faith, our helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, and finally, the most important, the heavy artillery, as it were, prayer. Now, I want to talk about these from a whole different angle. First one, girded with truth. The imperative is this: we should be strong in the Lord in this truth and the power of His might. Three things about that. Number one, it's imperative, it's a command. It's in the present tense, we should be continually strong. And finally, it's passive. We receive from the Lord that action. How can we receive that action? Well, being girded with truth. And if you look at chapter 6 and verse 14, "Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth." Warning. What he's saying. Let's look at the negative side of this. If the only way we can win is to be girded with truth, and I'm not going to go into all the ramifications in the Roman armor tonight on that, we don't have time. But if the only way we can win is to be girded with truth, here's a warning. Dishonesty will bring defeat. Dishonesty in every way, in any realm in our life. If we leave a place for the devil by dishonesty, we'll be defeated. Okay? Christians are defeated, first of all, if there's any dishonesty in their lives. Secondly, we're supposed to have on this breastplate of righteousness. You know what the warning of that is? Watch out, impurity, in any form. Just casually, just if I regard iniquity, if I look at it from a distance and say, oh man, if I could, then God says that impurity will bring defeat to our life because we have given a place to the devil in our lives. Impurity brings defeat. Third piece, our feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Warning, anxiety will bring defeat. That's why this whole bio scare, it's fine to get duct tape and plastic, but if you're anxious constantly and worried, that is an entry point for the devil. And anxiety will bring defeat. And we're not shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. How can we possibly go out? When I served in Los Angeles, I always remember this. She was about 90 when I started there, which was 15 years ago or so. So she's probably with the Lord now. But her father, during the great plague of the influenza plague of 1918, was a pastor in Los Angeles. And they encircled downtown Los Angeles where the plague had broken out. And they walled it off and they said no one could go in there. And if they did, they couldn't come back out. Her name was Martha Bueller, and her father, Pastor Bueller, said, I'm going in. And his wife prayed with him and he said, I'm going in. And he went into the influenza infestation and the plague, and they locked the gate. And he couldn't come back out. And he stayed there through the whole plague and went to those people. And he said, my feet are shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. I'm ready to die. Are you? And he led so many of those people to the Lord and buried them. By the way, he survived. Isn't that amazing? The Lord can do that, without duct tape and plastic. It's amazing. And I'm not saying that take no preparations, but anxiety will bring defeat. And we should be, of all people, walking in peace through the most troublesome times. Fourthly, the shield of faith, warning, doubt will bring defeat in our lives. The next piece is the helmet of salvation. Warning, a lack of trust in Christ brings defeat. If we think that there's something that we are doing to gain our salvation and we think we're not doing it well enough, the defeat will come in our life because we are not trusting Christ alone. Next piece, the sword of the Spirit. Warning, a lack of personal devotions will bring defeat. If you are not in God's Word, if you are not memorizing and meditating upon that Word, defeat will come. Because you cannot learn a bunch of verses when you're a little kid and it's going to cover you all the way through. You and I are changing and Satan is morphing into every type of way, and we have to constantly be in God's Word and allowing His Spirit to draw new portions of it to our minds so that we can appropriate that and walk in victory. That's why the only people I know that have a consecutive, growing, victorious life are those who have regularity in their personal walk with the Lord. And finally, the last piece of armor, our heavy artillery is prayer. Warning, a lack of prayer will bring defeat. This kind cometh not but by prayer and fasting. Prayer is so integral. Watch and pray that you don't enter into temptation. I am warned, so I will flee dishonesty. Tonight, as you sit, examine your hearts as you look for clean hands and pure hearts. Is there dishonesty at all in my life? Is there any impurity? Is there anything that does not honor Christ's holiness in my life? Is there anxiety? Am I afraid financially or afraid for bioterror or for the end of the world or for loss of comfort or security? Is there doubt in my life? Am I trusting in anything less than Jesus? Is there insecurity? Am I not realizing that my salvation is complete in Him? Am I distracted? Is there something that's more gripping my life than communing with God on a daily basis, that I can meet with Him, with the God of the universe, and I can commune with Him every day in His Bible?